The rain poured heavily outside as Ethan sat alone in a small room, staring at the cracked ceiling. At 23 years old, he believed life had already defeated him. His friends had good jobs, some had started businesses, and others were chasing their dreams. Ethan, however, had failed every important opportunity that came his way. He had failed college entrance exams twice. He had lost his part-time job. His savings were almost gone. Every morning he woke up with the same question. Am I ever going to become someone? One evening, after another unsuccessful interview, Ethan wandered into an old public library to escape the rain. It was quiet, peaceful, and almost empty. As he walked through the dusty shelves, he noticed an elderly man reading a thick book near the window. The old man looked up and smiled. You look like someone carrying a mountain on his shoulders. Ethan forced a smile. I think the mountain has already crushed me. The old man laughed gently. No. If it had crushed you, you wouldn't still be standing. That sentence stayed in Ethan's mind. The old man introduced himself as Mr. Harrison, a retired teacher who spent most of his days reading and helping young people who had lost hope. Over the next few weeks, Ethan returned to the library almost every day. One afternoon, Mr. Harrison placed a tiny seed in Ethan's hand. What do you see? A seed. What can it become? A tree. When? I don't know. Maybe years. Exactly. Mr. Harrison smiled. Success is a tree. Most people quit while they are still seeds. Those words changed something inside Ethan. Instead of worrying about becoming successful overnight, he decided to focus on becoming 1% better every single day. On the first day, he woke up 30 minutes earlier. On the second day, he read 10 pages of a book. On the third day, he exercised for 20 minutes. The changes were small, almost invisible. But they continued. Weeks turned into months. His confidence slowly returned. He began learning digital skills through free online courses. At first, everything felt difficult. He failed quizzes. He made mistakes. Sometimes he wanted to quit. Whenever he felt discouraged, he remembered the seed. A seed doesn't become a tree in one day. One evening, after finishing another lesson, Ethan looked at the calendar. It had been exactly 100 days since he met Mr. Harrison. He wasn't successful yet. He wasn't rich. But he wasn't the same person anymore. He had become disciplined. Months later, Ethan applied for another job. This time he was rejected again. The old Ethan would have given up. The new Ethan simply opened another application. Then another. Then another. After 37 applications, he finally received an email. Congratulations. He got the job. It wasn't his dream job. The salary wasn't impressive. But it was a beginning. Most people celebrated reaching the top. Ethan celebrated taking another step. At work, he arrived early every morning. He asked questions. He volunteered for difficult tasks. While others watched videos during lunch breaks, Ethan learned new skills. Some coworkers laughed. You work too hard. You'll never become rich doing this. Relax. Ethan smiled. People often laugh at discipline before they admire success. 2 years passed. His manager noticed his consistency and promoted him. His salary doubled. His family became proud. Friends who once ignored his advice suddenly wanted to know his secret. They expected him to reveal a shortcut. Instead, he said, there wasn't one. People dislike boring answers. But success is usually boring. Wake up. Work. Learn. Improve. Repeat. One Saturday, Ethan visited the old library. Mr. Harrison was sitting in the same chair. I got promoted. I knew you would. How? Because you stopped chasing motivation. Ethan looked confused. Mr. Harrison continued. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline finishes it. That sentence became Ethan's guiding principle. As years passed, Ethan continued learning. He invested part of every paycheck. He improved his communication skills. He read hundreds of books. He exercised consistently. He developed healthy habits. Slowly, opportunities multiplied. One day, a friend invited him to join a startup company. The risk was enormous. Many people advised him not to join. But Ethan had learned something valuable. Growth always lives outside comfort. He accepted. The first year was difficult. The company almost failed. Money became tight. Employees resigned. Some investors lost confidence. There were moments when Ethan questioned everything. Late one night, exhausted and frustrated, he remembered the first conversation in the library. If the mountain had crushed you, you wouldn't still be standing. He smiled. He was still standing. The team refused to quit. They improved their product. They listened to customers. They corrected mistakes. Slowly, the business gained attention. Within 5 years, the startup became successful. Financial freedom finally arrived. Journalists interviewed Ethan. One interviewer asked, "What is the biggest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people?" Ethan paused before answering. Successful people keep walking after disappointment. The interview became popular. Millions watched it. People praised his wisdom. But they only saw the victory. They never saw the nights of doubt. The rejected applications. The empty bank account. The fear. The loneliness. The tears. Success always hides the painful chapters behind the beautiful ending. Years later, Mr. Harrison became seriously ill. Ethan visited him in the hospital. The old teacher smiled weakly. "You climbed your mountain." Ethan shook his head. "No. I discovered something." "What?" "The mountain was never outside. It was inside me." Mr. Harrison smiled proudly. Exactly. A few weeks later, Mr. Harrison peacefully passed away. At his funeral, Ethan stood before hundreds of people. He held the tiny seed that Mr. Harrison had given him years before. "I carried this seed for years. It reminded me that great things grow slowly. I thought Mr. Harrison changed my life. But he didn't. He simply showed me that I had the power to change it myself." Many people cried. Because they realized the message wasn't only about Ethan. It was about everyone. Life doesn't promise fairness. Some people start ahead. Others begin with nothing. Some face poverty. Some experience rejection. Some lose loved ones. Some fight illness. Some battle fear every single day. But every sunrise offers one invisible gift. Another chance. You don't need to become extraordinary today. You only need to become slightly better than yesterday. Small actions repeated consistently become extraordinary results. A single page becomes a finished book. A single workout becomes a healthy body. A single dollar saved becomes financial security. A single kind word becomes a lifelong friendship. A single brave decision changes an entire future. Never underestimate small beginnings. The tallest buildings were once empty land. The strongest oceans begin with tiny streams. The greatest leaders were once beginners. The world's best athletes once struggled to run. Every masterpiece began with a blank page. Every successful company started with an idea. Every legend started as an unknown person. Your current situation is not your final destination. Failure is information. Pain is a teacher. Discipline is freedom. Patience is power. Hope is strength. And persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. When life tells you no, answer with effort. When fear whispers quit, answer with courage. When people doubt you, answer with actions instead of arguments. When success feels far away, remember the seed. You cannot force a tree to grow overnight. But you can water it every day. Years after Ethan's success, he built a learning center for young people who had lost confidence in themselves. At the entrance stood a simple stone with these words: "The greatest mountain you will ever climb is the one inside you." Thousands of students visit it every year. Some arrived broken. Some arrived afraid. Some believed they were failures. Before leaving, many carried a small seed in their pocket. Not because the seed had magical powers, but because it reminded them that greatness takes time. Every dream deserves patience. Every effort matters. Every setback carries a lesson. Every sunrise is another opportunity. And every person, no matter where they begin, has the ability to write a new ending. So if you are reading this today and feel lost, keep going. If you feel weak, keep learning. If you feel invisible, keep improving. If people laugh, keep working. If you fail, try again. If you fall, stand up once more. Because one day, someone will look at your success and call you lucky. Only you will know the truth. Luck had very little to do with it. It was built through thousands of quiet mornings, countless difficult choices, endless hours of learning, and the courage to continue when nobody believed in you. Remember this forever. Your future is not created by one big decision. It is created by thousands of small decisions made every single day. Choose wisely. Work consistently. Believe deeply. Stay humble. Never stop growing. Because the greatest victory is not becoming richer than others. The greatest victory is becoming stronger than the person you used to be.